Well, I'm so excited to be chatting to the amazing Jamie Milne today and picking his brain and introducing him to all of you. Jamie, how are you today?
Good afternoon, Juliet. Really good, thank you. Excited.
Yeah, thank you so much for your time. And for those in our community who don't know you yet, tell everyone who you are and what do you do in the world?
Well, my name is Jamie, and I've got what are it? Two. Actually, how would I word this? I started a company called JMT, which initially started as a strength and conditioning facility nearly 10 years ago. But upon starting my work and studying that with yourself and Irresistible, it evolved and changed into a bit of a hybrid, which I don't know if it's a Australian first, but I'm subtly confident it could be a Queensland first. Physical and mental performance facility. So we've been running like that for about 4 years, and we opened our second facility in Noosa. Yeah, I know. So I wear my linen shorts and an akubra up there while I'm at work with my loafers on the 20th of April, and we have a franchise as well. So number 3 in Agnes Water. So
Amazing. It's so cool to see how much you've expanded and grown. And also for yourself personally, you've really stepped away from doing the personal training and now you're doing more like the mindset work. I know you're doing workshops, you're doing so many other things. How have you found that evolution over the last few years?
look, it's been really, really exciting. It's almost like the more I've come to know and learn, the more I realize I don't know. So
Yeah.
I get to this little point, I'm like, oh, that makes total sense. I'm all over this. And then I go like about a millimeter more. It's like, oh, fuck. Nah, I don't know. I don't get it. And then got
Perfect.
a
Well, that's like one of my favorite sayings, like right when you've got it all figured out, that's when you don't have it. And right when you think you don't have it, that's when you've got it. Right.
yeah, no, it's so true. So that's pretty much a good summary. Yeah, a good summary of where I'm at. It's really cool. It's very exciting. It's always changing, but certainly, yeah, leaning into yeah, the mind, the brain, behavior, feelings, all these types of things is just amazing. Like there's no dull days.
No.
It's
And I
amazing.
think for you, your presence and energy is just so powerful because, and what I see in Paul, for example, is like having that person that just believes in you so much. I know that you have that for all your clients and everyone who interacts with you. Like that's so potent and it's such a gift. Tell
Yeah.
us about like your own self-belief and how that's helped you because how many Guinness World Records have you got now? I can't keep count.
Oh no, I hold on. Yeah, I think it's either 3 or 4 official ones,
Oh yeah,
but
3 or 4.
but multiple, like I mean, well over a dozen to 15 attempts. So whilst it sounds pretty cool, there's been a significant amount of setbacks, drawbacks, failures, however you want to look at it. And as opposed to successful ones.
It's a
So
pretty good conversion rate. But so then how has that shaped your self-belief and what's your relationship with your belief in yourself now and how's that evolved?
oh, look, it's a great question. It's probably really supported my journey, I suppose, as I've matured, take that lightly, chronologically. And it's helped me to be more objective. There's a really good way of putting it.
Yeah.
I can see I don't get it right all the time. Obviously, I'm obviously flawed, but I see both sides a lot. So sometimes cash flow can be challenging, or I could be dealing with dissatisfied customers, or just anything that's not nice or not perceived as nice. I now have the ability to see the good and the bad, almost like the order and what's going on. And as a young man, or younger than I am now, I would find that quite difficult. I was very subjective. If bad stuff was going on, I'd be like, oh, I was one
Yeah.
of those. Oh, it always comes in threes. I'm probably going to get a fucking flat tire now when I go. I
Mm.
was one of those guys where I'm like, well, that's cool. That's okay. There's something on the other side of this. So I think not having as much success as I would like in my in the context of athleticism, it's perpetuated out to life and business as well.
Well, we've gotten very profound very quickly, haven't we, in the interview? That's cool.
That guy, yeah.
I still am always reminded, and I still talk about this when I teach our NLP practitioner course, when we do goals in future and the overcoming anxiety process. I still tell the groups about Jamie Milne, who went for his Guinness World Record on day 6 of the NLP training. And we did one of these techniques. And I still remember you talking about like, yep, I'm going to get this most double unders Guinness World Record, and I have to eat an omelette. That's my learning that I got from that technique, was to eat an omelette. And then you walked in on the Sunday and you'd got your Guinness World Record, and everyone on the course cheered for you. So that was a really cool memory that I always have when I think about you. But like, so what for you? You first of all, you studied the NLP, then you dived into the hypnotherapy, then you've gone into you've done the masters, you've done advanced hypno. Like, what has each sort of stage of that journey helped you either shift personally or support you with in your business?
Yeah, enormous learnings. Look, I've said this a lot, and I've not taken a backward step in my praise and my gratitude for yourself and Paul, and today's no different. Like, it literally changed the course of my life. Like, I know, God, it sounds so cliche because
It does.
so yeah, I was like, oh, cool, we've not heard that before,
No.
but like, it did. I was going down a pathway enthusiastically. I wouldn't call it the wrong path, but it was certainly one that was becoming a bit veneer, a bit vanilla. I was dissatisfied in my life, in business, in my current environment. And it was really tepid, lukewarm, borderline boring. And I was just genuinely dissatisfied. And it was just a little bit of curiosity, and I thought, what the hell, let's investigate what you guys were doing, because I'd always had this real interest and willingness and curiosity about the mind, and I dabbled a little bit in my mid-20s, and literally just through the what's that saying? It's like when the student's ready, the teacher appears type thing, and you guys just kind of not evaporated, but like it just
appeared.
The opposite of evaporate, whatever that materialized. There we go, materialized, and like the rest is history. It really changed the course of my life, and within the first hour of studying with you guys, I was like, holy shit. Like, chucked a seatbelt on, and like, this is the ride for me. This is the theme park ride I want to go on.
Yeah.
And hence I went to every single theme park you guys offered and thought, these rides are cool.
Yes, well put. Well, we should put it that way then. The NLP land, to go to hypno land is a very different flavor, but yeah. So then what would you say? I mean, a lot of people watching these interviews are either about to study with us or they've studied with us in the past, and they might be still a bit on the fence about doing coaching with people or starting their own coaching business and finding it like challenging as well. What advice would you have to, say, new mindset coaches trained with us with NLP and hypnotherapy to support them?
Yeah, I think leap off the cliff with gay abandon. Just get into it. Like, I think that I don't know where I ever heard the saying, or if it is a saying, or if it's more a phenomenon. I know that like fear causes hesitation, and hesitation will cause mistakes. And I think that little ounce of fear you've got, I think, allow that to evaporate, allow that to dissolve, and take a chance. And as a person that can confidently say, like, when I say it changed my life, it literally changed my life, economically, who I am as a person, how I interact. And you spoke about belief earlier on when you were sort of referring to Paul and people like myself and Paul. That was one of the powerful tools to enable us and myself and others to really believe in ourselves and to believe in clients and their abilities to have those solutions and answers and resources that they're looking for, and that we're not broken, we're not lost, we're fine. and that alone, that belief is incredible. People pay big money for people to believe in them, and being able to believe in oneself. And I think, yeah, I think the courses, the fundamentals of the courses that you guys run was a precursor for that belief. It really does crank the dial on it. And geez, like I said, I'm very appreciative and grateful.
No, and I think it's such an interesting concept, because I think prior to that sort of experience, you can consciously hear someone saying, believe in yourself. And it's an idea, it's a thought. But when you actually have that embodied experience of, first of all, what it's like to truly believe in yourself and learn tools to help you to actually find that strength and resource inside yourself, then you can actually pay that forward and ripple that into other people. And that just magnifies people's potential. And I know for you, you're so passionate about helping people connect to their human potential and like what is possible inside of themselves. Like, what have been for you on your journey maybe some of the most standout people or things that you've been able to help people shift now that you're in this space, that's more than getting a PB on the squat bar? That's still cool. That's still
I
cool.
was going to say it still changes my life.
Because that can change people's mind and belief as well, right? The external world can change the internal world. But what have been some of the big, profound things you've helped people maybe overcome or shift or break through?
I think it's honestly that, again, it's belief. I think about some of the the early days, and dealing with people that had vices, from alcohol to drugs, and smoking, and even snoring. I remember a guy coming in, he couldn't stop snoring, and they'd spent like tens of thousands of dollars in sleep centers and all of that. And with my curse of a little knowledge and a little bit of naivety, but then also this profound belief, I'm like, he has definitely got the answers to this. I've got no idea what they are, but old mate's got him. But his wife dragged him in initially, and then I was very like, oh, maybe he doesn't really want to stop snoring, but the wife, anyway, had that whole conflict going on. So from things like that, he did stop snoring, by the way, side note, but I can't remember how it all panned out. So from those sort of challenges to now working with high performance sports teams and nationally ranked athletes, and really like incredible big corporate companies, and that evolving and changing has been incredible, and being able to have the confidence to niche myself and step away from other areas of mindset work, and work solely with athletes and business owners and career professionals. And even that in itself is an enormous step.
That's cool.
Conversations with people I actually like, and
Yes.
sit and shoot the shit and be like, oh my god, this guy's my friend, this is amazing, he's doing what I'm doing, or it's really cool.
Natural progression then for you to niche in that area, for sure. That's so cool. Yeah. And I know that you do a lot of speaking, and you get invited to run speaking events. And what are some of your kind of keynote topics, or the things that you often get asked to present on?
Yeah, interestingly enough, it's generally around resilience and good mindset, and defined as look, a lot of pop psychology stuff. People love the feel good stuff, but good positive psychology, good mindset stuff.
Yeah.
And yeah, the area of resilience and endurance seems to be my niche market, which obviously it comes through interestingly enough, via like my military background, some of the athletic things I've done, but yeah, but I think business has been one of my greatest teachers about resilience and endurance. I often get asked about the military stuff, and I think, Jesus Christ, the military was a bit of a holiday compared to being a small business owner.
Well, military, you just do what you're told. Business owner, you got to figure it all out. No one's telling you what to do, right? So then what would be your biggest learning in business to date? What would be one of your biggest learnings in business?
Or biggest learnings in business? Oh, look, I love, there's a poem, the Renaissance man. I love a good poem. So the poem is The Golden Road to Samarkand. And the Golden Road to Samarkand, the SAS, or the Special Air Service, the Tier 1 military group, it's almost, I think it's like their unofficial motto, but there's a key part in the poem that says always a little further. And basically we always go a little further. And I don't mean that in a sales context, like, you know, do you want fries with that? Can I get you a milkshake? Do you want, it's more like I will always go a little further. And always going a little further to me means like not quitting. It means I can rest, I can catch my breath, I can drop down to a knee every now and then and go, wow, this is full on. Like I need to just have a spell, but I will just not quit. There's just no chance whatsoever. And I will turn up every day and do my best. And if I could pass on any suggestions to anyone, like that's it. Don't quit. You can rest, you can catch your breath, that's okay, nothing wrong with that, but dust yourself off and go again. Always go a little further.
Oh, I love that. I'll definitely look up the entire poem, but I do think that that energy and that intention of just always going that little extra. I mean, for us, we have like an internal motto, which is like, how can we make it wow? And so it's a very kind of similar idea, but, you know, thinking about our community, thinking about our students, like how can we make things more wow? But also I love that, always go a little further, whether it's for your clients or with what you're delivering in your workshop, or even, you know, going further and not giving up in your business. And I think that's the thing when you said your advice is just, you know, go all in and don't look back. Like, I think that's so important. I see a lot of people hesitating or maybe like doing things on the side, and it's sort of like there's this sense of, oh, it's okay, I can always fall back if this doesn't work. That doesn't always bring the best out in us. And that's why I so love you with your Guinness World Records. Like, it's either you get it or you don't. There's no, oh well, you just fall along there. So like what's been for you in those maybe 15 attempts that you have made? What has been a standout where you've wanted to give up, but you knew you could just go a little bit further, and what came up for you, or how did you get through that?
So such a good question. I think it does come back to mindset. It's the stuff that majority of us know.
Yeah.
I mean, there's that conversation around knowing and understanding, but I think fundamentally it's in the application. Like we can read all the books, we can do all the study, we can, you know, but to apply these things, and this is the great thing I feel for being in the arena, whatever the arena is for the individual, that's the opportunity to apply what we have learned. And when during these events, these physical events, you know, it's more about like stepping into that mental gym for me. It's like when it gets really funky and it gets really hard, like really hard, and the body is just screaming. Like there's not a part of me, my fucking eyelashes hurt sometimes, like everything hurts. And
Wow. I didn't know your eyelashes could hurt,
yeah,
but
well, I'm not sure
sounds
they were
painful.
hurting, but
No,
anyway.
but it makes sense.
That's probably exaggerating a bit, but you know, like some of the situations I've been in, and it's like it's almost that's when I step into the mental gym. It's like, righto, here we fucking go.
Yeah.
Like, who am I going to listen to? Am I going to listen to that inner coach, that person that supports me, that person says all the things I need to hear, or am I going to be that critic that's going to be like, who do you think you are doing this? Like, fucking, you know, you're still a fat boy. You're still I don't know if I can say that, but you know what I mean? Like, you're still, you know, you're weak, you're pathetic, all these people, because they're both of them are there.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? These two, devil and angel, this little dialogue that's conflicted, it's there. It's just in the arena, in the frying pan is when you get to decide, or I get to decide, who am I going to listen to?
Yeah.
And sometimes I'll listen to that coach and we'll get through. And then sometimes, you know, I'm flawed. I'll listen and the critic will get the best of me.
Yeah. But sometimes as well, I guess the critic can also encourage you and spur you on, because it's that, you know, moving away from pain, and sometimes that, oh yeah, you're going to give up. Oh yeah. And so, you know, you can use that as well. Not that I'm saying I'm telling you what to do, because you're the one that has gone for the, you know,
No.
records. But I think you're so right. Like, it's easy to be in a great mindset when everything's going well. And it's easy to be in a great mindset when you're not on your 20th hour of doing as many double unders or pull-ups or whatever you're doing, right? So it's easy to be in a positive mindset when life's going well, but it's how do you handle when things are challenging? How do you handle when literally you are at this breaking point? And that's what I think is so fascinating about what you've done. So
that's my big learning, and that is in all contexts. Like I said, in business and losing patience with kids, with personal life. That's when it happens. That's when it's like, because you're right. When the sun's out and you've eaten well and you're hydrated and you're meditated and everything's and you're zenned up to the eyeballs, it's very easy to listen to the positive coach, the narrative, the positive narrative. It's when the bullets are whistling past your head and you're tired and you're sleep deprived and you're a bit down on your luck. That's when it's like, righto, here we go, game on. I'm going to step into that mental gym now.
Yeah. And so what were some of, and this will be sort of my last question about it, but I just think it's so fascinating. People are probably really curious. What were some of the like mental strategies that actually really helped you? Like you probably drew upon a lot. Is it just grit, or did you draw upon, like, did you do some visual rehearsal? Did you use anchoring? Did you use self-hypnosis? Like what were some of the things that actually helped you when it came to the crunch?
Geez, so I've used all of those. Just roll out this arsenal, this litany of tools. So yeah, like honestly, it's all of those things. If I could say one thing was very, very successful for me and something that I use often, is that is the Huckalau technique.
Yeah.
So I've used I pride myself on my mental rehearsal and visualization skills, but if I was to land the chopper on the destination of one, all these little metaphors, on the destination of one of these resources, it would be that Huckalau technique. You know, if it was when I was doing push-ups and pull-ups and double unders and running, I would just literally pick a spot on the wall while I'm moving, while I'm exercising, while I'm in the sort of the hurt locker, the pain cave. And before you know it, 10 reps had been done, 20 reps had been done. And it was just a great way to, quieten things down, feel a bit better. So yeah, I reckon that expanded awareness.
I love that too. And I think it's like one of the probably simplest master prac techniques that we teach, but it's deeply profound and powerful. And there is just so much in it. And yet it's so simple when you get it, when you're actually there. And I agree. I think you probably get to that point where you're almost just observing and become the witness of yourself doing all the reps, and you're like, okay, that's a lot better than feeling your eyelashes hurt.
Yeah. You and Paul would laugh if you came into this gym, because we've shared it a fair bit with just everyday members that we're very CrossFitty, get after it, high intensity type stuff, and you'll see guys in here just like deadlifting or whatever, and they're like staring at the wall. Like if you were a person coming in, you'd be like, the fuck is going on in this place? All these weird
zombie deadlifts, and
they're getting ready for the apocalypse.
The Walking Dead gym,
come and squat and stare at a wall. They're like, how do you market that? But anyway, so the guys utilize some of these tools too, so it's cool.
That's awesome. No, thank you. I think it's so cool. So many of our students just obviously, love seeing you win and share your wins, and people that you've studied with, but also we've got a lot of new people in our community. We're trying to just like help everyone get to know who has been through the journey, and also what's possible as you start expanding more opportunities and potential, and let go of fears and just go, actually, what do I want to start creating, and where do I want to step into? And I think your transition from being on the gym floor to now doing what you're doing is amazing. And it's a testament to your character and all the amazing inner work that you continue to do as well. So yeah, thank you so much. Is there anything else, maybe for someone watching this, that they haven't yet studied with us? Would there be any parting words you would have to give them that little nudge?
Yeah, well, I think back to what I said before. I think do not hesitate. Like, do not hesitate. I mean, you and Paul obviously facilitating this and bringing this community together. You would see it all the time, but in my experience with the dog makes a little cameo. Even in the courses that I was on, I just saw exponential change. There was a multitude of people that were getting what they need. They were getting that education. They're doing that inner work. It's just, don't hesitate. Like, honestly, that's the best advice I could give. Jump on board, get involved, have your life changed.
Yeah, thank you so much. It's so awesome to chat to you. And yeah, I really appreciate you giving us your time, and just keep doing what you're doing. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thanks, Juliet.